My name is David Fleming from Disciples Ignited, and we're studying faith in action that we find in Hebrews chapter 11. Now, today, let's look at that verse in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 4, and the Word of God tells us, by faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. Let me read that verse to you from a different translation, the English Standard Version. By faith, Abel offered to God a more acceptable sacrifice than Cain. So the NIV said that it was a better offering. The ESV says that it was more acceptable. So what made Abel's offering more acceptable, a better offering than Cain's? Well, let's read all about it in Genesis chapter 4, verses 2 through 7. I'll be reading it to you from the NIV. Now Abel kept flocks and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord, and Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he didn't look with favor. So Cain was very angry and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you so angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Now, the key to understanding why Abel's offering to the Lord was accepted and Cain's wasn't is the matter of obedience. And this teaches us a very important truth concerning faith. Faith is always linked to obedience. You aren't living a faith life if you're living in disobedience. Faith and obedience are always united. Now, according to Genesis chapter 4, verse 7, Cain was obviously not obeying what the Lord had told him to do, which concerned the type of offering that God would accept. Apparently, from the very beginning, after Adam and Eve sinned, the Lord wanted sacrifices that required the shedding of blood. That was the type of offering that Abel was offering, and Cain was not. Why was this important? Because the offering of a sacrifice that required the shedding of blood would have prophetically pointed to the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. Remember, the scriptures teach us in Hebrews chapter 9, verse 22, without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness. So it was important from the very beginning that the offerings offered to the Lord required the shedding of blood, lamb's blood. And that was exactly the type that Abel was offering and that Cain was not. But Cain knew about it. But he wanted to give God what he wanted to give God. He wanted to offer God the fruit of his labor, which was the crops. But God said, listen, you can do what's right. But Cain wasn't willing. Now, what should we be learning from this? Well, we should learn this. In order for our faith in Jesus to be acceptable, it's got to be obedient faith. We've got to be walking in obedience to the Lord. Otherwise, our so-called faith isn't true faith at all. True faith is always linked to obedience. Now, wow, that is a life changer, isn't it? You see, it's not just a matter of talking the faith talk. It's living an obedient life that reveals our faith walk in Jesus. So you say that you put your faith in Jesus? Well, the thing that really proves that is whether you're living in obedience to Jesus. Faith and obedience are always united. And that really is a life changer, isn't it? There's so much more to learn about faith as we study throughout Hebrews chapter 11. So join with me tomorrow and we'll learn some more. See you then.